Oh boy, boy, boy. Where do I begin? Um, man, Tim Pool and Kim Iverson, got to exchange. It wasn't no beef or nothing like that on Twitter because Tim Pool, and a few other influencers met with the dictator Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu was in the states, which is just a disgrace. It's a disgrace. But they had a conversation with him, and basically Benjamin Netanyahu likes them spreading Israel propaganda. That's basically what it is, and Kim Iverson called him out on their bullshit, rightfully so. And um, Kim Iverson, I haven't had a problem with her. I think she does a good job, um, you know, with this topic. So, um, it's on Twitter. It says Kim Iverson says Tim Pool admits to to secret meeting he publicly tweeted about people shared photos of, and he explained in what detail happened. Got him. Kim is twisting everything to fit a boogeyman narrative. Several other people who posted photos before and during the event, yet she said no one else admitted to the meeting. Damn, man. She said she also admitted that the Chatham House is not for journalists, which is 100% about journalists. Who else is going to attribute quotes to someone in a publication? Um, and they said this is the grip. Kim is framing everything here as inherently wrong, no matter what. Question the accusations of quartet-funded ops. That means you were already told to say that. I'm sure she will be shocked to discover that I've met in private with Trump, members of Congress, CEOs, even a former Soviet general, gang leaders, revolutionaries. Well, bunch of propagandists. I want to say they know fucking revolutionaries. Like, I mean, man, you basically just admitted yourself. Like, yeah, I met it with him, but you made it seem like I'm doing a propaganda to what you are. I mean, you are, man. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Um, now, Kim Iverson responded to this. She said, "You admitted to it after the Jewish Insider published names and described the wrong thing. The the Chatham House rule is not for journalists and was not developed for journalists, and journalists who abide by it should be trusted. No one trusts the journalists who show up to the Bilderberg Group meetings for every reason. Off the record is one thing. The Chatham House rule lets elites inject narratives into the press without accountability." And then Tim Pool gonna respond back saying, Kim obviously is making shit up because she's a grifter with an agenda. Here's me tweeting about the meeting after leaving in a full day before the Jewish Insider published anything. Additionally, Jessica Cross posted photos of us at the event. She posted before and during photos and videos. So there it is right there. Just left a meeting with um, Netanyahu in D.C. Interesting discussion. We'll discuss it tonight on Timcast URL. So basically, you call her a grifter because she's exposing your bullshit. See, that's what people do, man. They love. See, when they have no argument, no narrative, they love like, oh, she's a grifter, man. She's a grifter. Oh, she's a grifter. That's all they got. And Tim Pool is no different than those people. Um, so yeah, uh, so yeah. Let me see. So yeah, here's I'm finna play some of this video by Kim Iverson. It's good. Um, yeah. So she finna tell it like it is. So here we go.
Having a secret Chatham House rules meeting with Netanyahu and other Israeli senior officials. I want to play for you a little bit of the video that he did. He put out numerous tweets. In fact, here was one of the longest tweets that he put out, plus subsequent tweets after this one. In fact, he called me a lot of names. So in this tweet right here, he says, "This is a grift. Kim is framing everything as inherently wrong. He says Kim is twisting everything to fit a boogeyman narrative. Several of the people there posted photos before and during the event, yet she says no one else admitted to the meeting. She also said Chatham House Rules is not for journalists, which is 100% about journalists. Who else is going to attribute quotes to someone in a publication? He then went on to say, I'm sure she'll be shocked to discover that I met in private with Trump, members of Congress, CEOs, in fact, even former Soviet generals, gang leaders, revolutionaries, all secretly, apparently, and in private. He then did a 42.
I think what Kim is trying to say, before I get to the rest of it, is that like you supposed to be independent media, but you pretending like God, the pool is no different than corporate media. Like I think that's what she's trying to say. Like people, like a lot of these people pretend to be independent media, get all these fancy studios, all this equipment, when all you need is a good running computer, not no real cheap one, a mid spec one, okay camera, and just a place to talk. Like, look behind me, man. Like, panel. I got paneling on the wall. Got MLK right there. Like, y'all know, it's no fancy studio, but I'm gonna let it continue.
2-minute video. So he's on a tear with this. So he has responded. He's not only tweeted this, he's also tweeted other things like this one here, calling me the name at the bottom there. Imagine if you did like a single Google search for the pronunciation. He makes fun of yesterday I was.
Wow. Not only, well, wow, I'm wrong. I said exchange. Like, this is sound like a beef. Started by Tim Pool, by the way. Like, you gonna call this woman the R word? Oh God, man, that's crazy. Like, man, like if I call somebody the R word on Twitter, bro, like my ass is definitely suspended. I'm definitely suspended. You know, it's rules for some, but not for all. I'm pretty sure Tim Pool and Elon Musk have a undercover friendship, right? So he can say whatever the fuck he wants. Like you really have to call her the R word, man. You really like you mad because she exposing your bullshit. That's what it is. He mad. He mad. Like, come on, man. Like, really?
Saying Chatham House Rules. Apparently it's Chatham. Sorry, I'm not part of the DC swamp. And I also
Chatham. Okay. Hey, I said Chatham. Kinda. I said it kinda
am
like
from the West Coast, not the East Coast. So this is a totally unfamiliar word to me. He'll say, well, that's because you're not a real journalist. That's why you don't know this word. Well, or how about real journalists don't agree to Chatham House Rules? In fact, only journalists that show up to meetings like the Bilderberg Group agree to this type of stuff. It's sinister. It's propagandizing. It's meant for elites. And, most people don't do it or know about it. So that's fine. I don't care. But Chatham, yeah, in order to make him happy, so he stops criticizing that. So he says, oh, shit, I tweeted literally after the meeting happened and an hour after Jessica Krause posted a photo of me there with several people. Right. So he's saying, ooh, Kim, you got me. It was so secret, but it wasn't secret. So what are you over here complaining about? I'm not complaining about the fact we know about the meeting. I didn't uncover the meeting and I didn't put it out there for my audience like, look, I uncovered this secret meeting. No, my criticism is the fact you agreed to a meeting with a foreign leader trying to get us into war, a foreign leader who is committing a genocide. You agreed to a Chatham House Rules meeting with that guy, which is particularly sinister. That is different than an off-the-record meeting. That is also different than having.
see? Yeah, like, bro, like oh God. Yeah, you agreed to a meeting with a guy that's, want to make Rafah a buffer zone and, starving Palestinians as we speak. Yeah. But, oh God, man. I just yeah. Like, yeah, man. Yeah, we knew what you tweeted about the meeting, okay, but the problem is like I would probably be in her shoes too. And trust me, like he called her that R word, he'll probably call me more than that. I like, these people are just scumbags, man. Um, if I, was a permanent person, but yeah, Tim Pool is the R word, man. He is like that's all they got. She just basically stating the facts. You're meeting with a dictator, but she's a grifter because she just said you meeting with a dictator, basically. Okay. So I guess I'm a grifter too, and I'm the R word too, according to Tim Pool. Oh God.
An anonymous source or attributing a quote or information to, a senior leader in the Israeli government, that is a very different. Chatham House rules is very different. We're going to get to that. But let me show you some of the 42-minute video he also did, which, by the way, Tim is very sensitive, obviously, about this because the majority of his viewers are actually against him on this issue. They don't think he should have had this meeting. They do think he's more pro-Israel. And
wow, that's something when your own viewers say that genocide is bad, and you meeting with somebody that embeds in it. Mm-mm-mm. But to the viewers, though, my thing is stop watching Tim Pool. Like, Tim Pool loves, he loves me with genocide enablers. So why are you still watching his stuff? Maybe you agree with him with other rhetoric he says, but my thing is genocide trumps everything to me. I mean, I'm just saying,
in his defense, they question his integrity. And how we know this for sure. The video he posted, the 42-minute video that I'm going to share clips from, as of right now, this moment, there are 5,000 likes on the YouTube video, but there are 6.3 thousand dislikes on this video. He is being ratioed on his tweets. He's being ratioed on this video. His fans are not in agreement with him on this. They're more in agreement with me on this. So,
damn, man, wow. Damn. People ain't that damn dumbfounded as I thought. Like, people got some common sense, though. They got some common sense. That's good, because, man, even people see what Tim Pool is, man.
This is why I think he's being particularly defensive and felt like the need to put out numerous tweets calling me numerous names and making a 42-minute video. It's unfortunate. I like Tim. I've always liked Tim. I've been to Tim's, been on his show several times. And we bonded over being part Asian, both of us. And I still like Tim. I don't have anything against him. I am absolutely going to call out integrity issues in journalism when I see them, be they friend or foe. So I don't have a personal bent on this, but Tim certainly does with some of the things that he is, but I mean, he feels attacked, so I don't blame him. Let's go ahead and watch this first little clip from the 42-minute video, which you are free to watch the entire thing, of course.
I'd like to thank Kim Iverson for this. Admittedly, it's a slow news day, but I think we get an opportunity to expose what it means to be a grifter.
Yes, we will.
We've had Kim Iverson on the show. I was a fan for a while, but she seems to have gone off the deep end. I suppose it's a desperate bid for relevance, as is with many people.
A desperate bid for relevance. I'm not the one who took $400,000 a month from a company without asking where they were getting their money.
Yeah. I remember that. Tim Pool and somebody else. Charlie Kirk, somebody else took that money. Yeah. First of all, Kim Iverson is very popular, so she don't need to be relevant. Everybody know who she is. Oh God, you won an argument when all people got for you is smears. You just know it. Like you said, he bitter because he getting ratioed and and stuff like that. And he mad because people agree with Kim, not you, because you full of shit. Oh, this is glorious. Relevance. Now you can say that about me because I'm irrelevant. Very, 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 very small. I'm not even on the totem pole, but I wouldn't say that about Kim or Savvy or RBN or Do Dissonance. Like, they're pretty known in these media circles. Like, but never continue.
Money from. Seems like that would have been integrity journalism rule number 1. Find out where the hell the money comes from. And then you find out, whoops, it came from Russia. I'm not the one that defends the Israelis, that will not, that balks at, if you remember this clip, the USS Liberty clip, where he's like, oh, we can't talk about this, right?
Dude, I'm concerned with having American aircraft carriers over there. Like, what I keep being told about the USS Liberty, that's something with the Israeli government No,
Yes.
you should be careful about
Oh,
that one.
yeah, yeah.
Alleged.
Oh, yeah. Be careful about that. Be careful about that. Okay. So, calling me the grifter here, saying that I'm doing the bid for relevance. I'm not the one that took an Access Journalism meeting with Netanyahu, thinking that it was going to be under Chatham House rules. It ended up not being. That does not. But Tim went into that meeting believing it would be, and believing that people would adhere to it, believing that the meeting would be entirely kept secret. And when he saw that it wasn't, he decided he needed to come out with it.
Oh, okay. That making sense. To be honest, I didn't know what Chatham House rules mean. Chatham House rules supposed to be secret. Nobody supposed to know, but apparently somebody leaked it out. Um, Leaked out the details of the meeting, and yeah, he's losing his shit, calling everybody the R word and grifter, and God, like, bro, you the grifter, like, you sell your soul to people that you don't even know where the money comes from, like, mostly all these right wing like channels that just blew up overnight. Like most of these motherfuckers sold their soul. Like once you get money from some these sources, billionaire sources or whatnot, like you sold out, man. Like you sold out. You sold out. It's not like you on YouTube and you getting like just AdSense money. Like you're not like that. YouTube is paying you based on you know traction, like how many views you get on your videos. Like so you're not like you don't have no secret contract with YouTube. Like these people, you got a contract to basically spew the propaganda that they want you to spew. Like they just not gonna give you millions of dollars to say whatever the fuck you want. It don't work like that. But Tim Pool, him and Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro and these other kooks, like these kooks, they sold their soul. So that's why you got Ben Shapiro, for example, saying that you shouldn't retire at 65 because 65-year-old don't look 65 anymore, which don't make any sense. Like, so you supposed to just work till you die? That's basically what you might well just say that. You should work till you die. Ben Shapiro got that weird voice. You should work till you die. You should work till you die. Should work. You should start working. Like, come on, man. Come on.
But he otherwise agreed to this. How many other meetings has he had under Chatham House rules where he's willing to go, sit, get the information, and under those rules, you are unable to attribute any of that information to anyone at any, it's very different than an unnamed source. An unnamed source, you could say a senior Israeli official expressed concern about blah, blah, blah. You could say that. Under Chatham House rules, you can't say that at all. You can't even, you basically have to act like the meeting didn't exist. So it's propagandizing. That's the purpose of it. It's meant for these elites to get together, spew out narratives to journalists, have journalists keep the information source extremely secret, not just anonymous, but not even attributing it to anything at all. And it's also different from an off-the-record conversation. An off-the-record conversation is you are gathering information from somebody in the know. You are not to be using that information publicly. You're not to publish it. You're not to attribute it. You're not to say anything about it. It's literally meant for background information or extra information so you can follow a lead. That is an off-the-record information, an off-the-record meeting. And again, an anonymous source or, don't attribute it to me. You could say senior level, you could say this, but don't say anything else. This is what I said. You can attribute that. When you have these types of other meetings, then you start saying stuff and you can't say, well, I heard it from a senior Israeli official. You're not allowed to say that. That's why it's so particularly sinister. So he goes on to criticize, and this is what he says. The Chatham House rule was never meant to be used by journalists.
Wrong. This is so ridiculously wrong. Kim doesn't even know how to pronounce the word.
The Chatham House rules, now I looked it up, like it's meant to be between officials, government officials, like anybody in a government official capacity, not between random journalists. Like, is Tim Pool even a journalist? Oh my God, I don't even think he's a journalist. He's just somebody that just get paid by billionaires to fucking spew propaganda all day. Okay.
Oh, here we go with the grammar police. Yes, if that's your only rebuttal, you know that you're already on the wrong foot. Or commentators or anyone who's
Right. Like she said, like I couldn't really pronounce it good either because I'm autistic, and I have a speech impediment issue as well. Yeah, people pronounce things differently. Like, yeah, see, that's what they do. They go after the way you talk. They go after the way you say things. They go after anything possible. Like, when people have no points, like Zionists, they have no fucking. They can't rebuttal what Israel doing is wrong, because if they do, then that goes against what they think, what they believe. They believe, and they believe that Israel has the right to defend itself when it doesn't, because Israel, like, who are they defending? Go ahead. It's just, this is wild, man.
Whole brand is, I tell you what the establishment won't.
Yes, Chatham House rules are so that powerful elites, literally, this is what they say in all these meetings. They say, if you quote me on this, I will be impeached. I will be fired. I will be strung up by the board. Our shares will collapse. But these are things that you should know.
That's not exactly quite true. That would be more like sitting down with an anonymous source and saying, again, a senior level leader or somebody with inside information or somebody close to Trump. We see that every day in the news. Chatham House rules is very different. That means come to the meeting, hear what we have to say, but act like it never happened. It just so happened Tim was not able to act like it never happened because Jessica Krause started taking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, between government officials, like government officials talk to a source, they tell you what happened, then it's off. Like, it had nothing to do with journalism. Oh my god. Oh god, bro.
Taking a bunch of photographs, and the word was already out there because the other people in the meeting, also not DC insider elites, they didn't know about Chatham House rules.
And so they actually took our phones because they said, we want to just talk however we want to talk.
Okay, so remember that he said they actually took our phones, okay? Because he then says this: no cameras, no transcripts, just a government, a message, and a room full of people who control what millions of Americans see online.
Wrong. There were many cameras. Like I mentioned, Jessica was taking pictures. They're on her Instagram. She posted a bunch. And then I was like, I look, we're in the Blair House, and they said it's Chatham House rules. And I'm not trying to be mean, Jessica. She's walking around filming, and I just was like, come on, this is not Chatham House rules. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like this, come on. I don't mean to be mean to Jessica, but she clearly does.
This guy's the R word, man. Like, bro, like, it's not a Chatham House type of meeting. Oh my god, bro, come on, bro. If she taking pictures of you and that dictator and other people that probably was there, then it's not a secret meeting. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, I can't, man. I can't with these people, man. That's crazy, man. Like, oh God, like, I guess these days it pays to be stupid in this space, man. Like, being a Kim Iverson or a Savvy Sabs or RBN or me even, like I guess we too real for these people. So either we get shadow banned, we get suspended off platforms, or people like this get to say whatever they want. Like, again, I'm telling y'all, man.
Doesn't know about what the elites know, which is about Chatham House rules. There she is walking around with her phone. I don't mean to be rude to Jessica Krause, but she's clearly not an elitist like me. That's what he's admitting to here. So he said they took the phones, and then he says, and then when I say there were no phones, no cameras, he says, wrong, Jessica was going around taking pictures. Right, but then they took the phones when you had the meeting. So yes, she took some gawking photos like the J6ers that were walking through the Capitol building in awe, looking around. Yeah, she did that, but then they took the phones. And that was my point. It was an off the record. It wasn't even an off the record meeting. That would have been better. It was a meeting that was meant to propagandize, give you information so that you would go and share it with the world. If they said it was.
Exactly. Man, that's what it was. Chatham House rules. My ass, like, exactly, man. That what that. I mean, what else can I say, man? Like, Like, bro, they both thought it was some top secret information. Like, like you think that dictator is gonna give you top secret information to a freaking cook that these motherfuckers probably talk about? That oh man, like Kim Iverson said it. She was on it, man. She was on it. This is why the heel got rid of her because she's too real. People are too real, man. They get rid of you. But like Chatham House rules. Like one thing that like could give me a clue when somebody taking pictures of stuff of a meeting is it's not it's that means it's not top secret. Oh my god, man! I'm just in awe because yeah I'm gonna play a few more minutes of this, man. Like holy shit, Tim Pool is a jerk, man. A jerk.
Was off the record, that would mean that the Israelis never intended you to share any of it out there in the world. They would say off the record, none of this information is to be shared. We're just giving you some background context or information for you to follow another lead. That would have been what that is. But this is more sinister. Chatham House rules is come to a meeting. Don't tell anybody who the meeting was with. Don't tell anybody, don't say who was here. Don't even say which government, no attributing factors whatsoever, but take every single piece of information we give you and go ahead and share it. Go ahead and share it. Share it with everybody far and wide. That's propaganda.
Yes, propaganda 101. Yeah. Like those billionaires that gave you all that money. Spread our propaganda everywhere. You know, get an audience. They take it and run with it, and we'll pay you. Same with Netanyahu. Hey, you get to meet with me you're because you I guess you're a Zionist, so I get to give you things to say. Like for example, like Hamas is trying to take over, and it's a lie. Hamas ain't trying to take over, but that's something Netanyahu will say. So spread that stuff around, and because the discourse is that Israel is the enemy, which is true. So that's what that meeting was about, pretty sure.
That's the reason why it's so sinister. That's the reason why the Bilderberg Group is so sinister, because all these elites and journalist elites get together and they have these secret meetings, and then they plot and plan the world takeover, global new government, and then they send all of their mouthpieces out there in the world to chant in unison to essentially brainwash us into believing the world is going to end with climate change, or Trump is a big Hitler, or whatever it is that they're trying to propagandize us with. We see it every day in social media. The exact same message is coming out from every single mainstream source. And you wonder, where in the world are they getting this information? Well, I'll tell you where. Chatham House rule meetings.
So, yeah. You being sarcastic there. So, yeah. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, that's the goal. Like, hey, sit down with these talking heads that, sold they soul. And, let's, yeah. Spread all the propaganda you want, man. Like, yeah, hey, free range. Like, hey, I give you all this information and some money. I gotta incentivize you to say this stuff. And people take it and run with it. You see why society is fucked. So that's that. This woman right here, I guess she worked with Tim Pool. Yeah. She says, honestly, are you intentionally lying to your audience, or are you just that dumb? Oh God, here comes smears. I tell you, it takes all of 30 seconds to look up which rules are most secretive, and you're literally just fed your audience bullshit. What is your journalistic integrity? Oh man, this clown right here, man. It says an off the record meeting is generally more secretive and restricts the sharing of information more strictly than a meeting held under the Chatham House rule. The Vega rule, which is often associated with off the record, dictates nothing discussed in the meeting can be shared outside of it. The Chatham House rule, on the other hand, allows sharing of information but prohibits arbitration for specific individuals. Okay, I don't think she's denying that. Jesus. And she came back here. She said, Lisa, how do we explain this to you so that you can understand? Hell, son. Off the record means it's not meant to be shared publicly at all. Meaning the person giving the information is not looking for you to propagandize on their behalf. In fact, they want the information to stay completely private and they'll be upset if it got out. Exactly. Like, yeah. Me and, Mike me and Left Indy have an off the record meeting about something, and then Mike tells people what me and him said, or he screenshot or record or something like that, you know, like, yeah, like, I'll be upset he did it, but it's not meant to be like. But if we had a meeting, like if we had a conversation and it's recorded, like on here right now, then that's not bad because it's for everybody to see. God, let me continue. He said, Chatham House rule means you're allowed to share any and all information, but not share where the information came from. It's a way for elites to spread messages they won't share without any accountability or arbitration. Elites want the information out there. They just want the public knowing it's coming for them. Hope that helps. So, yeah. Like, geez, man. Kim said, I hope I explained it to you so you can understand, because this Lisa Elizabeth person sounds like an idiot. She really does. Like, these people are just deeply unserious, man. Like, these people are supposed to be, above approach, but really in actuality, they full of shit. Full of shit. And last thing before I go, shout out to my boy Nico House. He follows me on Twitter, which is shocking. Like, apparently I'm doing something right. Like, Nico House is, he's a great dude, man. Just follow him. His name is Duopoly Destroyer, which I love. Duopoly Destroyer. He came out with this hotspot video, which, wow, this is the first time he's covering a hotspot video. And shout out to Nick too. He does those too as well. So let me start from the top.
Looks like
Here we go.
Zionists have found their new boogeyman as they now claim that Qatar has more influence over U.S. policy than Israel. Recently, James Murray went on Joe Rogan and went on a tirade about how Qatar is pouring billions into the U.S. education system and billions into D.C. in order to control U.S. policy.
Qatar pours hundreds of millions of dollars into this country, billions indeed, and tries to change policy in this country. And nobody's trying to overthrow Qatar. Nobody's trying to overthrow the emir or his family. And they've been poisoning American universities, American institutions, buying up American politicians. They pour billions into this country. There are lots of people.
But I wasn't saying if anyone.
That's crazy. I'm gonna let the video play, but I'm not surprised, man. I mean, Israel, influenced some of these colleges and universities. So I mean, it's not surprising that if this is a thing. Cause let's spread more propaganda out to the people. Like, the truth don't matter anymore. It's just lies to make one side look good. So that's where we at these days.
The most obvious one is Qatar, which has pours money into DC and into elite institutions and universities in this country. And I don't find from one week to the next anyone who's particularly riled up about it.
Well, so they've been, so they're pouring money into D.C. Mm-hmm. And so do you think that they are influencing U.S. policy through doing that?
I think they're trying to, yeah.
Maybe they are trying to.
But
I don't know.
I mean, you could Qatar, you could say the same thing about Israel. Doing the same thing, AIPAC, right? AIPAC and the Israel lobbying, like, yeah, like, I think, shit, most of our politicians are AIPAC handlers. So, I mean, what else is new? Like, he's literally telling things that's not new,
They're definitely succeeding with the universities and others.
Basically insinuating that anyone who complains about AIPAC and their influence on U.S. politicians should be just as upset about Qatar and their influence over U.S. politicians. Even Tim Pool jumped on the bandwagon claiming that Qatar is the primary actor behind the rise of quote-unquote anti-Semitic content online. Like deadass Tim Pool asked Bibi Netanyahu if he believes there's a Qatari op to manipulate social media algorithms to make anti-Semitic and anti-Israel.
Well, you gonna say if Qatar's job is to tell people that genocide is bad, then I'm all for it. But that's not true. So I knew that was bullshit, but I mean, what I was saying was I'm not surprised. Like a lot of heavily influenced come over here, and it's like that. But yeah, yeah. See, Israel knows that they lost. That's why they had Tim Pool and others in this, in this meeting and stuff like that. They know they're losing. They're losing here. Israel's losing. Like Israel economy suffered because of this. And people online, like this is why they banned TikTok. Because TikTok was too real. Like had a lot of people exposing only October 7th, but what happened before October 7th? Like genocide happened before October 7th. So yeah.
Episodes appear to receive an outsized number of views online. And I've been hearing this argument more and more lately, and the people who are making it, I don't think they understand how ridiculous their logic is and how self-defeating this fake concern about Qatari influence in the U.S. government actually is. Let's break it down. So between 2017 and 2022, Qatar gave in total $70 million to the United States. Now, that's through its affiliates, both directly and indirect lobby. AIPAC, on the other hand, in one election cycle in 2024, spent $90 million influencing political outcomes in the United States. Now, what has that $70 million over the course of 5 years gotten Qatar? Less than $200,000 a year in U.S. aid to the country. Now, what is AIPAC's money bought them? $40 billion in just military aid between 2020 and 2024.
Wow. Wow. 40 billion in military aid. But Qatar's the problem. Get out of here. Get out of here. Man, get out of here. Yeah, man. Yeah. Now we see who's the real problem here.
To Israel. And as an added bonus included in the package, whenever Prime Minister Netanyahu visits the country, the president pulls out his chair just to remind the world who he really works for.
Yep. Yep. Donald Trump works for AIPAC. He works for Marilyn Iverson. He works for Israel. So, hey, Benjamin Netanyahu's a king, the emperor, sound like Chris Tucker on Rush Hour. The king, yeah, man, pull his chair out, Oh, Lordy.
Now, the insinuation that Qatar donates money and therefore we should have a problem with it is that Qatar is donating money and that money is being spent in a way that is against U.S. interests. Except for dumbasses don't realize we have a whole ass U.S. military base there, and a lot of our military operations, whether it be Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and others, are launched out of Qatar. It seems like Doug Murray, Tim Pool, and the like have actually forgotten Qatar has been a long-time ally of the United States, and truthfully speaking, a long-time puppet. And one could argue the money that they do donate to U.S. politicians is basically protection, because they get a few weapons, they make sure that their energy is protected rather than taken by Western interests, and nobody bothers them. So even bringing up that point is
So basically, that's why Qatar do what they do, because they don't want to be fucked with. So they're sad that they have to lobby politicians to say, hey, leave us alone, bro. Like, we trying to do what we got to do. So, we know y'all Westerners, y'all some colonizing, hungry, crazy ass motherfuckers. So yeah, we just gonna get y'all a little cash on the side, and yeah. Yeah, like here we go.
Ridiculous, but it's more ridiculous because you feel as if spending that kind of money on U.S. politicians creates a level of influence that could potentially inspire those donating and those receiving those donations to act against the interests of the United States. Now, what would that look like, perhaps? It might look like spending $1 billion in 3 weeks to launch an offensive against the Houthis with absolutely zero results. It might look like overthrowing Muammar Gaddafi in Libya and bringing back slavery to Africa. Might look like going to war with Iraq, not once, but a couple times. It might look like funding a genocide. It might look like the country that is giving you millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars every election cycle, killing your citizens, and then you pretending like it didn't happen. When in any other situation,
Exactly. That right there. Like Rachel Corrie, I always tweet about her because people forget. I just, tweet it every now and then. Like Israel literally killed U.S. citizens and the United States sit on their ass like, oh, no, nothing happened. No, that I ain't see nothing, acting like they Stevie Wonder and shit, man. Like, they blind. Like, come on, bro. Like, I would be pissed if another country murdered one of my citizens. Like, man. But hey, the president of the United States pulls out a chair for the God King. Who is European, by the way.
that would be enough for you to start a war with them. But Tim Pool thinks Qatar is so influential and so sinister that when the story broke about that private meeting that Tim had with Bibi Netanyahu, he claimed it was fake news and it was bots being funded by Qatar. And that's why everybody...
Oh, God. What? I'm pretty sure what he's going to say. Qatar, a lot of people, what we going to say, Kim Iverson is a Qatar agent or something. Like, smear is all they got. Weak.
Believe this lie, but he said it with absolutely no proof and clearly no understanding about the relationship between the United States, Qatar, and Israel, because even Bibi Netanyahu admits that Qatar is not an enemy state of Israel, bro. But dumbasses like Tim Pool and Douglas Murray think that all Arabs are alike. You can't.
Like, these dudes do no research. Like they don't use Google. Like, you can Google it up. Like, acting like Qatar is anti-Israel. I think Qatar is kind of like neutral. Hopefully they are against the genocide, but yeah. So Qatar didn't have nothing to do with that meeting getting exposed. Like, first of all, it wasn't a secretive meeting if that woman was taking pictures with her phone, putting it on Instagram. I mean, oh God, this guy thinks he's on top of the world, man. Tim Pool and all these other motherfuckers, man, they think they're on top of the world. They talking to these leaders like they God, and and they probably think they God themselves because they have millions of views, which is propped up. Let's just keep it 100. It's not authentic views. like people can buy followers. Like, I think a lot of these podcasters, man, I believe a lot of them buy followers, and shit like that. Yeah, man, yeah, when you pushed out in the algorithm, of course people are gonna adhere to your bullshit. Like, reason why we shadow banned, which is probably the fault of my own, I admit, because my dumb ass played the Breakfast Club video when people told me that Breakfast Club will copyright your shit. And second of all, yeah. Yeah, because we speak truth to power. So we're not propped up. Like, we're not bought by billionaire influence. So a little more of this.
So one Arab country apart from the other, so they think if they're Arab, they must be anti-Semitic and they must hate Israel. Maybe it's time for y'all to accept that Israel's influence on the United States is a problem. It's okay to acknowledge it. and that y'all are grasping for straws, trying to blame Qatar and claim that they have the same amount of influence over the United States. Come on, bro. And to be perfectly clear, the majority of us have a problem with any foreign government having that much influence over our politicians. And as a matter of fact, many of us talk about it regularly, whether it be Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, or any foreign lobbying group. We have a problem with it. We've made that very clear. You're the only ones who are unwilling to admit that Israel's influence over the United States is a problem. But I get it, bro. Just look at the way Qatar is influencing Meta and Facebook, or how Qatar is finagling its way into getting employees inside of OpenAI, or how Elon Musk, the CEO of X, went on a tour of Qatar with their leader to demonstrate solidarity and then announce how he was going to censor content that was viewed to be against their interests. Don't y'all see?
Which he's doing, because when I kept doing this on Twitter, my whole Twitter account is censored. So yeah. So I thank Israel for that, because I'm using my freedom of speech. Yeah, just saying fuck Israel. Like, yeah. Yep, so he censored me. Like, no about that. He censored other people too.
Clearly, all this influence that Qatar has over our social media and U.S. politics, maybe they got a point, guys, because remember, it was Qatar that attacked the USS Liberty in 1967. So maybe we should pay attention to just how much influence Qatar has on U.S. politics.
Wow. Nico House is amazing, man. Like, yeah. I'm glad this guy is on doing his thing on independent media. I mean, on social media and independent media. Like, yeah, Qatar's the problem, but Israel, like, yeah, Israel won't influence in our technology. But only because, the reason why for that is because people seeing Israel as Israel is done. Like, their reputation is shot to shit. Like, it's a fool. Yeah, blame Qatar. I don't agree with any lobbying efforts by no country. Like, I don't think, like, all these countries should be foreign agents. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Israel.